walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the superstates that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
Hello to you all. You're watching RHTVLive.
Any state, any entity, any ideology that fails to recognize the worth, the dignity, the rights of man, that state is obsolete. A case to be filed under M for Mankind in the Twilight Zone.
Yes, people, we are in the Twilight Zone. It's a very interesting broadcast. The obsolete man. You should look it up. Yeah. Now, let's take a look at what happens in the Netherlands, right? When we have all sorts of demonstrations against the government. This happened last year when there were restrictions. This is, I believe, it's The Hague. We have a very big field called the Malieveld, and there was a demonstration. Now, these people running out of the bus are called Romeos, and they're harassing the peaceful people. Let's take a look at this here.
Ja! Daar heb je ze!
You see that?
Zelf nadenken en dat doen jullie niet. Dit is niet goed te praten. We zijn vredig, we komen op voor onze vrijheden. Kijk hier. Kijk, het staat er weer allemaal op. Het staat erop. Schaam jullie diep. Schaam jullie.
You see that? The guy with the bike gets mistreated by the cops. This is what the normal Dutch demonstrator gets when he's standing at the Malieveld or elsewhere. I believe there's also the Museumplein in Amsterdam where they protested, and it's very sad to see. Look at this police car here driving over the bike of this guy here. You know.
The fuck you?
Geen op geschoten, ik hoor het ook. Houd het weg.
So these are the people, demonstrating, and the cops are supposed to protect us whilst they drive over us with horses and stuff like that. You know, people get thrown into a bus. You know, this is what's happening in the Netherlands, or this is what has transpired in the Netherlands. This was last year. 26th of March 2021. It was posted.
Nou, dan wordt er iemand helemaal in elkaar getrokken. Kom, hierheen. Ja, Kill hem. Die hond heeft hem. Er wordt iemand helemaal...
The dog has him, right? There's a dog over there in between the legs. And 2 cops are, it's amazing. These people are supposed to protect us, right? So these people work for the government that we have to listen to. And it's very, very sad. We're going to show this. You see, there's the dog. This is unbelievable. This is unreal. These people are supposed to protect us, right? And they have the monopoly on violence. They can use violence on the crowd if they please. So this is the reason why the farmers did not went to The Hague to demonstrate. Look at that cop pressing the dog on the guy, like, bite him, man, bite him. It's amazing. It really is amazing. So for the international audience, this was last year, and it's very, very sad to see that these people are supposed to protect us. It's amazing. Really is amazing. But this was during the lockdown, and times change, and no more masks in public transport and stuff like that. No more masks when you go to the store, and who knows? For now, right? For now. Maybe there's going to be a new variant or whatever else. And then they say, you got to put on your mask. You got to put on your mask. Well, the guy who claimed you had to put on your mask was actually a minister of health called Hugo de Jonge. Hugo de Jonge in een winkel zonder mondkapje. Yeah. So you have this minister of health, who is now the minister of housing, in a very magical way. Here you have him in a store without mouth diaper. Oh. Stupid telegraph. Go away. We have enough images on Google. He has no mouth diaper on, right? And all the customers have to wear a mouth diaper, right? This has also been happening in the U.S. with all the Democrats. Nancy Pelosi went to California in a dinner and all that, and the servants, they needed to mask up, but the people in power, nope. You guys remember that Pelosi at the dinner in California? You can search it up if you want. So this is what's happening. Authoritarian people. And you should see our former Minister of Justice, right? Our former Minister of Justice had said, "You are an asshole if you have a party and you can't, separate yourselves 1.5 meters distance and all that. You're an asshole. You're an asshole." Now, this former Minister of Justice had a wedding party, right? A wedding party. He didn't keep distance or whatever else. He hugged all these people, and thank you for coming and all that. That bald guy over there this year was the former Minister of Justice who fined people, right? Gave people a fine when you didn't have that 1.5 meter distance and all that. He closed stores, right, because the stores didn't comply to the rules. So this is what's happening in the Netherlands, people. And there is a farmer, right? The last time I went live, we talked about the farmers in the Netherlands. There's a nitrogen problem, so-called nitrogen problem, right? And our cabinet says we have to get rid of the farmers. Now, they need to get rid of the farmers because they want more land. It's easy as that, But they don't tell us that. Now, a farmer went to a politician, very emotional and very upset about his business closing, basically. So we're going to take a look at this here.
Boeren. En ze worden met mannenmacht als terroristen behandeld. Ik heb die
He says all the farmers are treated as terrorists by our government.
visjes vanmiddag aan de lijn gehad. En wij zullen altijd strijden. Ik zal altijd strijden. Het maakt niet uit, al ga ik jaren de bak in. Maar het bedrijf is naar de kloten, hè. Een zoontje van 2. Caroline heeft ze gezien. Het is over. En wat heb ik gedaan? Onderwaterdrainage, natuur. Ik heb alles. Alles wat jullie willen. Maar beheer.
He did everything the government wanted, but still he needs to close down. His son of 2 years old, has a very unstable future now that the government decides that the farmers are terrorists. It's very, very sad to see. And this is the state of our country.
De beheersvergoeding wordt afgepakt door de provincie. Dit jaar. De beheersvergoeding wordt afgepakt dit jaar.
Over here in the background, we see Caroline van der Plas, the burgerboerenbeweging, right? And she supports the farmers, and she actually went to the demonstration and slept at this guy's place and heard their story and trying to represent the farmers, but she's like, maybe we can reduce, this and that. And she's all in the numbers, but the whole nitrogen story is a story no one can solve. And this is how they keep power, you see. So we're going to take a look.
Wat gaan jullie straks met de natuurbeheer doen? Al die boerenbeheersvergoedingen afpakken? Zijn ze ook klaar? Bij Staatsbosbeheer is het de teringzooi. Natuurmonumenten ook. Wij, onze natuur. We zijn daar geweest met de ecologen. Het ziet er geweldig uit. We zijn de beste van de wereld. Waarom? We kijken niet naar geld, maar we kijken naar kwaliteit. Ook al is het natuur, je krijgt een opdracht. We zijn de beste. Maar voor mij is het klaar. Echt klaar. Maar voor deze al nog niet. En dat ga ik ze zo meteen vertellen. En het maakt niet uit als dat 100 politie op heen. Ik ga ze...
So he's standing in Parliament, right? And this is a lounge area in Parliament. And he needs to go downstairs to the speaker's corner, basically, where all the parliamentarians come together to speak and all that. The Tweede Kamer, but he's not allowed. He's not allowed to go there.
Vertellen. Want in Montfort is er een maand geleden, heb ik ook tegen LNV gezegd, een boer die heeft zich opgeknoopt. Ja. En waarom? Niet om...
He's telling that a farmer hanged himself. Not because he's, because he has a bad marriage or whatever else. No. He hanged himself because he had no future anymore. That's not what he's going to tell, but, that's my interpretation.
Niet omdat het zo slecht ging in zijn huwelijk. Niet omdat hij zorg had. Maar precies omdat wat hier beneden gebeurt. En elke boer die dat dit jaar nog doet, zijn hiervoor verantwoordelijk. En ik zal het niet doen, want ik ben positief ingesteld. Altijd. Maar nu kan ik het niet meer. Ik kan het niet meer. En ik ben in alle staten. En het is oorlog. En Bart Kemp zal erbij komen. Mark van der Oel.
He says it's war. And he's naming all these farmers that are standing up against the government. And the guy he's talking to is from the CDA.
Sjaak van de Tak zullen erbij slepen. Alle belangenbehartigers. En het zal gaan gebeuren. En vanavond kan je dat regelen voor ons. Samen met Caroline. Samen met, inderdaad, die vieze rechtse partijen. Zoals je dat net zei. Want die zijn er voor ons. Vandaag is Caroline afgemaakt. Door die linkse rotpartijen. Ze is en dat heb jij ook gezien. Dat ze de grond in wordt gestampt. Terwijl ze met feiten komt. En jij deed altijd ook goed werk, Dirk. En laat ons alsjeblieft niet barsten. Jij kent ons gebied. Je bent nota bene mijn dorpsgenoot. En laat ons niet barsten.
That guy over there, he's from the CDA, the ruling party, the ruling coalition. I mean, and he can say, we're going to stop all this nitrogen nonsense. We're just going to live. We're going to let the farmers farm. This is our food supply we're talking about. And Gideon van Meijeren, which is a politician from the FVD, Forum voor Democratie, which is not this guy. This is the minister, Henk Staghouwer. And Gideon van Meijeren is going to ask something on the food supply.
Dank u wel. De heer Van Meijeren, Forum voor Democratie.
Dank u wel, mevrouw de voorzitter. Zoals ik in mijn inbreng al aangaf, is de aanval die is ingezet op de agrarische sector niet alleen funest voor onze boeren en hun families en voor ons prachtige karakteristieke landschap, maar raakt het ook onze voedselvoorziening. En daarom mijn vraag aan de minister: in welke mate staat nu de Nederlandse voedselzekerheid op het spel? En wat zijn nou de gevolgen van dat hele stikstofbeleid, dat in ieder geval zal leiden tot een aanzienlijke vermindering van het aantal boeren, voor de wijze waarop wij nog in onze eigen voedselzekerheid kunnen voorzien?
Minister.
Dat is geen...
So he's asking this nitrogen problem, what does this do to our food security, right? Because every country has their own amount of food. And this guy here says, we're part of the European Union, and other countries will supply us with food and stuff like that. This is amazing. It really is amazing. So I'm trying to keep myself calm, and because I come from a farmer's family, So I'm trying to keep my head calm.
Sprake van, mevrouw de voorzitter. Er is geen sprake van voedselschaarste. Er is geen sprake van op termijn het ontbreken van voedsel in Nederland. We hebben voldoende om te produceren voor Nederland. Er wordt heel veel voedsel ook geëxporteerd. Dus er is geen enkele sprake van dat er tekortkomingen zijn.
Heer Van Meijeren.
Nou, voorzitter, het is evidente logica dat als het aantal boerenbedrijven vermindert, er in ieder geval in Nederland minder voedsel geproduceerd zal worden. Daar kan de minister het toch niet mee oneens zijn.
He's basically stating with the farmers, less farmers, there's less food, right? He's asking the minister via the chairwoman.
En wij exporteren voedsel, we importeren ook heel veel voedsel. Maar wat voor Forum voor Democratie van fundamenteel belang is, is dat de Nederlandse agrarische sector in staat is om de voedselzekerheid voor de Nederlandse bevolking te alle tijden te kunnen waarborgen. Zeker in het huidige geopolitieke speelveld. En daarom nogmaals mijn vraag. Wat zijn nou de gevolgen van het stikstofbeleid voor de mate waarin de Nederlandse agrarische sector kan voorzien in de voedselzekerheid voor de Nederlandse bevolking?
Basically, he's asking the same question about the food security. You know, how much security do we have? We must not be dependent on other countries. You see, Germany has great beer, right? Now, imagine yourself this, right? Germany is in a war. Hey, we heard that before, right? So Germany says, we're not going to export beer anymore. And the Netherlands says, hey, we don't have any farmers. We're not producing any beer. And we are dependent on you, Germany, for beer. You know? And Germany says, screw you. This is basically what happened during the pandemic, right? Plandemic. So all the borders of the countries shut down. And in the Netherlands, you had rules. And in Brussels, you also had rules, but they were more strict. And all that, you know, it's really amazing. Germany had different rules. France had different rules. Spain had a different set of rules, you know. So they say, oh, we're one Europe. No, we're not. And now Ukraine will maybe join Europe. And Ukraine is in a war with Russia, right? That means whole Europe would be in war with Russia. We don't want that. We want peace. Peace in our times, right? So I believe the BRICS countries came together. That is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And they had a meeting. Let's see if we can find it on Al Jazeera. Here, BRICS Summit. There you go.
Smiling to camera, the leaders of the BRICS nations met virtually on
Thursday. Oh, I forgot China.
Forming a bloc which some have described as an alternative to the G7. Representing China, Brazil, South Africa, India and Russia, the nations account for more than 40% of the world's population and nearly a quarter of global GDP. The response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine was front and center, with host Chinese President Xi Jinping opening the gathering by criticizing US-led sanctions.
We urge the world to reject the Cold War mentality and block confrontation, oppose unilateral sanctions and abuse of sanctions, and reject the small circles built around hegemonism.
At a BRICS business forum, he accused NATO of antagonizing Russia and said sanctions had turned the global economy into a weapon. The comments were echoed by Vladimir Putin, who made his first major diplomatic appearance since Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Is only based on honest and mutually beneficial cooperation. can we find solution to the crisis situation in world economy because of ill-conceived, egotistical actions of particular countries?
Putin said Russia had recently increased trade with BRICS partners, none of whom have supported sanctions against Moscow. China and India are key importers of Russian energy. Indian leader Narendra Modi, however, steered clear of mentioning sanctions. As a US ally, New Delhi is refusing to pick a side.
We do not believe that fora such as the BRICS should become platforms for these kind of geopolitical contestations.
So India is staying neutral in this whole Russia-Ukraine war, right? And there you have India. They're staying neutral, and the European Union is pulling India, saying you guys need to sanction Russia. So this is what's happening in and around our beautiful planet.
As I said, we see the value of the BRICS summit taking place at this time precisely in enabling us to slow down, if not fully prevent, what seems to be a kind of an incipient polarization in geopolitics. The West on the one side and China and Russia on the other side.
In a joint declaration, the leaders called for more dialogue between Russia and Ukraine and pledged to deepen cooperation in fighting COVID-19, counterterrorism, and economic recovery. China has proposed a free trade bloc among the 5 countries, and the group is discussing whether to admit new members.
So, there you have it. Maybe there will be more members in the BRICS Union. So, who knows? Who knows? Maybe Kazakhstan or, I don't know, probably not Afghanistan because the Taliban is in power there. Maybe Kazakhstan because they're also in the Russian NATO kind of thing, alliance, CSTO, right? CSTO, 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 there you go. Collective Security Treaty Organization, right? That's the Russian counterpart of NATO. So, and Kazakhstan is in there. So who knows, maybe they will join the BRICS countries or some other country, maybe, who knows. They want to expand their influence. So let's see what else we got here. We already talked about BRICS, right? And they also have all these shadow organizations and all that, like the SPIF. There you go. St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, right? This is the Russian counterpart of the World Economic Forum, right? So basically you have 2 systems opposing each other and fighting each other in a country that is already torn by linguistic differences and stuff like that. The east of Ukraine speaks more Russian, and the west of Ukraine speaks more Ukrainian, right? So this is what's happening, people. And we told about Ukraine. We gave the insights. Victoria Nuland, Jeffrey Pyatt. It was overthrown by the U.S. government. They put biofacilities in Ukraine and stuff like that. It really is amazing what America had done to Ukraine. We also have Biden, right? Biden, he was bragging about firing a district attorney. Biden in Ukraine. So, and this was when he was vice president, right? We're going to take a look at this here. In 2006, Ukrainian prosecutor General Viktor Shokin, in his investigation of corruption involving Burisma Holdings, a natural gas company, identified Hunter Biden as recipient of over such an amount from the company. Not wanting this corruption exposed, Joe Biden, as vice president, swung into action using U.S. loan guarantees as hostage while demanding Shokin be fired. Amazingly, Joe Biden now brags about his actions in this manner at the Council of Foreign Relations. Remember that? Remember I was talking about the Council of Foreign Relations, right? CFR. There you go, the Council of Foreign Relations. This is a lobby group, a think tank, they call themselves. And, vice presidents go there, presidents go there. I didn't see Trump go there, though. But many members of his cabinet did go there. So we're going to take a look at this video here.
I remember going over convincing
Blah, blah, blah. You see that in the background, Council of Foreign Relations. You see?
our team or others to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to the press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion.
$1 billion in taxpayers' money, right? You guys in America pay for this. So a vice president goes to another country and says, you got to fire this guy. Otherwise, you won't get that money from the taxpayers. You won't get that money.
They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Someone who was solid. Someone who did not look at Hunter Biden and the gas money that he got in Ukraine, right? That's still a story that the mainstream media needs to find out, I guess. We are miles ahead of the mainstream media because they have all these censorships going on, and we are a lot smarter than they are, right? I mean, look at Mark Dice, right? Mark Dice lives in California, and he's a very famous YouTuber in the U.S., right? And we're going to take a look at this here. This is his latest video 8 hours ago.
Joe Biden, the supposed leader of the free world, the most powerful man on the planet, accidentally tipped his hand during a meeting yesterday, and one of the cameras in the room caught a picture of his card, a note card that his staff had given him with detailed instructions of what exactly he was supposed to do. This is not photoshopped, by the way. First, it instructs him to enter the Roosevelt room and say hello to the participants. Then it has to remind him to take his seat, then to read off the teleprompter, ask the president of the...
You believe that? The president of the United States gets this note saying you have to say hi, you have to wave, you have to do this, you have to do that. Amazing.
FLCIO was there, ask her a question, then remember to thank the participants, and then you have to depart. As you know, his staff has to do that because if he's not reading off of a cue card or a teleprompter, then something like this happens.
And by the way, my sympathies to the family of your CFO, who dropped dead very unexpectedly. My best to their family. It's tough stuff.
Sorry he dropped dead? That's how he consoles people for their loss? It's no wonder they won't let him leave the White House or talk to the press. Harry Lake, on the other hand, who's running for governor of Arizona, handles the press quite well.
She rocks.
Is after being approached by a reporter from CNN.
Hi, Harry. Hi.
Nice to see you. Come off and CNN.
You don't have a mask on anymore. What's going
we're
on?
outside. Do you have a
Wow.
minute to
Well,
chat?
we're 6 feet apart.
Do you have a minute to chat?
I'll do an interview.
Okay.
As long as it airs on CNN Plus. Does that still exist? I didn't think so, because the people don't like what you guys are peddling, which is propaganda. Thank you.
There you go. That's how you speak to the media. You see, then they're all stunned. They can't say a thing. This is how you approach media, right? So let's take a look at what else is happening in the world. Take a look at Mark Dice. Shout out to him. And let's take a look at some other channels here. Let's see what's happening in the United Kingdom with Charlie Beach. Yeah. I hope he's watching. I did send a link to him, so we're going to take a look at what's happening in Manchester.
Good morning from Manchester, everybody. Guess what? It's Friday again. Friday. Can you believe it's Friday? Sun is shining, the weather is sweet. Yeah, we've even got fire alarm, smoke alarm test here. You've got your fire marshals and the high vis and the clipboard. Looking good. And started filming because I saw, what's this? Sorry, go ahead. Do your gate thing. The Gobe Fest. Now, what is a Gobe, and how fun can it be if you're not even allowed to bring that stuff in? Anyway, hope you're enjoying the 60 frames per second. It's been a while, but it's time again. Here we go. Gobe Fest. And I can read Predator language. That says thermonuclear detonation in 15 seconds. There's the back of Gobe Festival. And taking a deep breath alongside Manchester Cathedral, we have a little female blackbird. Go on, get some worm. Well, what we actually have is the Manchester Arena Bombing Memorial, which is a very nice white marble structure they built here. It was opened by William and Kate, the future king, and the future wife of the future king, or current wife of the current soon-to-be king. Okay, so the reason why we're back here, it was in the news, his name's Anwar Hussein. He's actually featured on my channel 3 or 4 times. Do you guys all know a kind of Ecuadorian, Peruvian, Bolivian-looking gentleman who howls like a wolf, and he's got quite a good sense of humor? You howl at him or you ask for a howl, he giggles, he's self-aware, he knows that he's absurd, he knows that he shakes his crystals and carries his little wolf skin and does all these other shamanic, new age stuff. But what he did, the scumbag, he came here, he did his little prayers at 2:55 in the morning, all watched over by CCTV. He should have known better. And he came and he carved a Buddha into the names. He was carving Buddhas into the names. So he wasn't trying to mock the dead. He was trying to do his own memorial. But in his narcissistic, water-headed, retarded thought processes, he thought that him using his coin or pen or key carving a shittily drawn Buddha into a big white marble memorial was a good idea. Anyway, he accepted, he pled guilty, he's apologized. I believe his apology is sincere. And he's got a mental health order for the next 12 months. Now, sounds a bit Soviet to me. If I was that young, howling wolf boy, I would have said, yep, I was drunk, but I'm perfectly sane. I knew it was wrong, deep down, but on my surface level, I thought it was right. I fucked up. I accept my penalty, but I am not mad. But now he is known as a mental health patient. Far too Soviet for my liking. Maybe I'm old-fashioned.
This is what they did with the Soviets, you know. If you did not oblige by their rules, you were mentally incapacitated and stuff like that. You know, it's amazing. It really is amazing. And now it's happening in England. We even have this. He was drunk, I guess, you know, and he was scribbling something, and he should have known. Everything is on camera. You know, that happens at a totalitarian state. You know, everything is recorded. You know, it's amazing. It really is amazing. What is this world going to? Oh my God. Well, what else do we have? We have Julian Chamberlain. He's got quite long videos, like 35 minutes or 37 minutes. He also has short videos, and he goes to gas stations and stuff.
What then? How's it going? So,
with memorial coins, right? And they are legal tender. You can pay with them. It is the Queen signed for it, you know. So he goes to gas stations and he fills up his car with jerry cans with some type of gas, I believe. I don't know. I'm not a car guy. But he fills it up and he pays with these coins, right? And most shops don't accept these coins, these commemorative coins. Let's see. There you go. So he filled this up. He filled this car up with gasoline or whatever, and he pays with these coins. Now let's see the response of this woman here.
No, we don't take them. No, we don't take them.
yeah, I read your sign and it didn't say anything about that.
No, we don't. We don't take them.
Okay. Well, can I have a receipt
What do you mean? Can you have a receipt?
for my payment?
No, because you haven't paid. We don't take them.
No. That's 100.
No, we don't take them.
Yeah, you do.
No, we don't. We do not
Where's
take
that other
them.
one gone? There it is. That one there. That's the other
We
100.
do not take them.
Okay. Well, you do.
No, we don't. But I'm going to phone the police.
All right. I'll be in my car then. All right.
No, you won't. You can wait here.
No, I won't. I'll be in my car.
You see, the difference here is when you go to a store and you want to buy something, then you have to pay, you know, their money. But basically, at a gas station, you consume and you are obliged to give money, right? And it is legal tender to pay with these coins, you know, so it's amazing that he gets harassed by police and the pump people don't know what to do with that money and all that. You know, it really is amazing. So he even got arrested for paying with legal currency. And this is how they devalue the currency, right? So I'm not going to go into economics. It's very compelling to do so, but I'll just show you Thomas Jefferson, right? Thomas Jefferson. Versus Alexander Hamilton. There you go. Now, Alexander Hamilton was the finance secretary of the U.S., right? And Jefferson was the foreign minister. He went to France, and he, before the revolution, for funding and all that. Oh well. We're going to take a look at this here. A small clip from Hamilton. Oh, I mean, not Hamilton. No, you always forget the second president, right?
You must find Philadelphia much
John Adams.
More change than I could have imagined, Mr. Hamilton. Not the city itself. All cities swallow everything in their weight.
That's no surprise to me. That's why I abhor them. But I've been, as you know, in revolutionary France, where the streets are filled with the songs of liberty and brotherhood and the overthrow of ancient tyrannies of Europe, and to return from there to this, our cradle of revolution, and find the dinner table chatter is all of money and banks and authority is an unwelcome surprise.
Unwelcome, perhaps, but necessary.
I must admit, Mr. Hamilton, I'm a little uncertain as to the purpose of the Treasury Department. No doubt its function will reveal itself to me in good time.
The future prosperity of this nation rests chiefly in trade.
Trade? It depends, among other things, on the willingness of other nations to lend us money. And how would you propose to establish international credit? Our first step would be to incur a national debt. The greater the debt, the greater the credit. And to that end, I have recommended to the President that Congress adopt all the debts incurred by the individual states during the war through a national bank. The idea being that if the states owe Congress money, then other nations will feel more inclined to lend it to us. If the states are indebted to a central authority, it increases the power of the central government. You have it exactly. The greater the government's responsibility, the greater its authority. The moneyed interest in this country is all in the north, so the wealth and power would inevitably be concentrated there in the federal government, to the expense of the south. If that is the case, it is unavoidable if the Union is to be preserved. I fear our revolution will have been in vain if a Virginia farmer is to be held in hock to a New York stock jobber, who in turn is in hock to a London banker. The opportunities for avarice and corruption would certainly prove irresistible.
Jefferson was right. Jefferson was right. Hamilton's idea of monetary policy is very, very wrong. You see, Jefferson said, we don't need a central bank. We have the states to create the money, right? But that did not happen. So that's how you created the big black hole, right? And you named it the Federal Reserve. Now, it's not federal, and it's not a reserve. They don't have any money. So they just make the money and give it away to the banks, right? And this is what Jefferson said. So I think I've said enough for today. we look at news and global events, and we've shown you guys enough already, I guess. We could go on for hours. Here's a cherry on the pie, right? Here's the NOS, which is the Dutch CNN, basically, even though they're state-funded news network, trying to give the audience possibilities to change their gender and stuff like that. It's amazing, really is amazing. So she shows websites of illegal pharmacies where you can get these medicines to change your hormones and stuff like that. You know, it's amazing. Really is amazing. So we're going to take a look at this here.
Ja, hier op forums en sites als Reddit kom je snel uitgebreide handleidingen tegen hoe je in transitie kunt, hoeveel je moet nemen en waar je het kunt bestellen. En deze website komt steeds terug. Ja, deze site is eigenlijk gewoon een verzameling van allemaal illegale apotheken. Je klikt het medicijn aan dat je wil. Ik doe bijvoorbeeld nu even...
So this is a site of illegal pharmacies, right? Not legal in the Netherlands. So elsewhere in the European Union or outside of it. You know, she's going to show India and all those other countries.
Progesteron-injecties. En dan krijg je dus allemaal sites uit allemaal verschillende landen. Bijvoorbeeld Brazilië, India, Rusland. En hier kan je het dan gewoon bestellen. Vaak betaal je dan met crypto of moet je geld overmaken.
And she says you can order here and then they'll bring it to your pharmacy. You know, it's amazing. Where you can pick it up at your pharmacy. It really is amazing. They really want to... screw things up, right?
En dan valt het daarna gewoon op je mat. Maar er is ook een legale optie, alleen kost dat dan wel meer geld. En GenderGP is daar een voorbeeld van. En dat is een site waar je tegen betaling recepten...
There is a legal option, but it's going to cost a lot of money. Here we showed you the illegal option, but there's also a legal option. We're obliged to say that as media. It's amazing, really is amazing.
Je kunt bestellen en een arts ergens in Europa, bijvoorbeeld Roemenië, die tekent dat dan en dan kun je bij je apotheek in de buurt je medicatie ophalen. Alleen is het nog wel belangrijk om te zeggen dat je geen begeleiding krijgt van een genderteam zoals je dat in Nederland krijgt.
Zelfmedicatie is dus super.
So this here is a guy that's very uncertain of himself and he wants to change into a female. Got long hair and stuff like that. You know, it's amazing, really is amazing. This guy wants to grow breasts and a vagina. It's like, what?
Makkelijk te fixen en dat doet Joanna ook al bijna een jaar. Vanwege die enorme wachtlijsten dus.
Dus de uitzichtloosheid, de hopeloosheid werd steeds meer en meer. Ik ben er zelf depressief door geworden.
He says he's very depressive and he wants to change genders and stuff like that. It's amazing. Really is amazing. But we are living in the Twilight Zone, so this was an episode of the Twilight Zone, I guess. And we're gonna quit for today. We'll be back Sunday. If everything is going to be okay, I guess so. Who knows? Who knows? This path is a very dangerous path we're walking on. So thank you for watching. Don't forget, you are the light. And we'll see each other next time.